Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that bills Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? That's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John.
Stand by.
I guarantee
the program will begin soon.
I didn't have to think about that.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing, mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by.
There's
The
a story
program
about this man
begins
too.
soon.
He led the attack on Pearl Harbor but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible. He converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do with that.
Ding, how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Ding, joyful ring, dong, caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. Oh, hail and dear, telling their tongues. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Merry, joyful, merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Ding, joyful ring, dong, caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound. Oh, hail and dear, telling their tones. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, ding dong, that is the song. Merry, joyful, merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong, dong.
Ding president, ding president, ding president, ding president. I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run. I work at Burger King, I make flavor whoppers, wear a paper hat. Do you want an apple pie with that? Do you want an apple pie with that? Ding president, ding president, ding president, ding president, ding. Fries are done. What? Look, I'm standing out out here in the cold. You guys are all inside. I'm out here freezing my, you know what, Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Joy to the world. I'm just trying to finish my toast. I got a mouthful of toast. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on the PDawgKnight Channel. The hell did I do there? Anyway, hi. It's Monday, the 22nd of December, 2025. I got a big wad of toast in my cheek, and it's Christmas week, and we're excited for that, and a few more days. We had a lovely, hang on, just a second. Excuse me. I'm choking this down. Had a lovely Christmas celebration at my daughter's house yesterday with her in-laws and her father-in-law and grandma, who's 98 years old, and her husband's brother and sister and their kids and my daughter's kids, and it was a lovely time. Made some of my macaroni and cheese that I put a picture on X yesterday, for those of you who saw that, and it was fantastic. And we just had a nice time. It was a nice time hanging out. All the kids playing, you know. The ages range from 15 to like almost 3. And there was like, how many kids? Okay, let's have 2. They have 3, and they have 2. So there's like 8 kids or whatever. 7, whatever. 3, 2, and 3, that's 6, right? 7, something like that. Anyway, they're all running around, and it was just fun. I mean, I really appreciate being around family, even though it's not my main family. It was great, a great time, and it was cool. It was really nice, and kind of miss that because we don't have family Christmases in my family, at least not for the last several years, and it's just because my son and usually with his in-laws and whatever, and if they've decided they're not going to alternate anymore, they're just going to stay away from ours, so it's whatever. We see them every once in a while, but it makes me melancholy, and so yesterday made me feel happy to have seen at least some of the family getting all together, so I like that. Anyway, it is I've still got some hangover articles from Gunfox from Friday. And I got a whole bunch of other stuff, and I want to talk about this. If you're familiar with the title, it has another title. There's another thing that goes along with that. If you're not familiar with that tune, and what do I want to say? I don't know. My second thoughts on this, you know, and it's gonna be a commentary about celebrities, and I don't care what celebrities think, but I understand if they have a good cause, I guess I'd listen to them. But anyway, in the Q&A today, my question is, what's that one annoying Christmas song that you just wish you didn't have to hear anymore? I already told you mine on Friday. It's Mariah Carey singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You." But I didn't get to ask you what yours was. So if you want to put in your least favorite Christmas song, the song you just don't want to freaking hear anymore. And that song for me, it's just they play it all the freaking time. And I wasn't necessarily a fan of it when it came out, because when it came out, I don't even think that's a remake, is it? I mean, if it is a remake, I don't know. I guess I've never really looked up. Here, let's find out. Let's Let's find out. I don't even know. Let's see. We'll go out and ask Grok, because Grok's usually the best at this. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Who? Oops. My microphone's too low. What's going on here? Oh, I remember I had it up yesterday. We had a Zoom call. One of my friends from high school passed away last week. And so all of us, our friend group that we had in high school that we still keep in touch, there's about 12, 15 of us that keep in touch. We had a Zoom call yesterday, just kind of to reminisce about, about our days. It's weird having someone your age pass away. I went through this 2 years ago, and when my childhood's best friend, the kid I grew up next door to, passed away at 59 years old. I'm like, I think of that song. Soon I was 60 years old. Now 61. And my childhood best friend didn't make it to 60. I have two friends that didn't make it to 60. That both died in the last couple of years, and now another friend of ours died this year. And I'm like, fuck, we're old, but we're not that old. It's like we shouldn't be dying off yet. But it's just the circle of life. But anyway, Grok, who originally sang All I Want for Christmas Is You? Question mark. Maybe we should put quotes. I think I don't know if that's an original Mariah Carey song or not. Let's see. Who originally sang All I Want for Christmas Is You? It's thinking. Oh, it's a Mariah Carey original, just made it sound like it was because it sounds like something that would be written in the mid 60s for like the Shirelles or something. I mean, it has that kind of 60s girl group vibe to it. But Mariah Carey originally sang All I Want for Christmas Is You. She co-wrote and produced the song with Walter Afanasieff. And it was first released in 1994 on her album Merry Christmas. This upbeat pop R&B track became a modern classic, topping charts worldwide. Yeah, and it's the most annoying song on the fucking planet to me, because they wouldn't stop playing it. It's like every 10 minutes on even if there's this radio station in the Twin Cities here. It's called Cool 108. And starting about the middle of November, they play Christmas music all the way through Christmas. And I swear to God, that song would come on every 10 minutes. I like listening to Christmas music, like usually starting today. Because, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Christmas. And I can stand Christmas music for about 4 days. But when you go in the damn Walmart and they're playing Christmas music on, the day before Thanksgiving, and then you got to go into the grocery store and they're playing Christmas music starting at the end of October, and you go into Kohl's and they're playing Christmas music starting a week before Halloween, and then you go in the elevator they don't play elevator music anymore. You ever notice? Hey, by the way, have you noticed that they don't play elevator music anymore? Isn't that interesting? Remember how elevators, you get in an elevator and there was always music playing? I haven't. When's the last time you heard music in an elevator? Maybe in Vegas. I think we might have heard in one elevator, like when I was in Vegas about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But otherwise, I don't think they play elevator music anymore. That used to be a staple when I was a kid. Anyway, why am I talking about this? Let's say hi to everybody, get this shit going. God darn. Let's go. First to chat today, Cara Soldier. Thank you for being here and being bright and early. Also, good morning, Jesse Leon, blast from the past. Welcome back, sir. Nice to have you. Advocatus Diabolus in the house. And Pope Tyrannius III, the Blessed Lich, is here with today's message of hope from not the Father, not the Son, but the Holy Ghost. The Pope says, blessing of the Holy Ghost. I am reminded of the small child and his drum, how he stood beside kings while they gave tributes, all he could do was play his drum. Intent matters more than the amount. Oh, that's a message right there. I wish, I'm not going to name names or even how they're related to me, but I wish there's some people in my family, I wish you'd learn that freaking parable. Thank you, Pope Tyrannus III. Okay, also, good morning. Louie is in the chat today, right next to Mike Savage. Blarg, 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 blarg. Also supporting Attack Alpaca, Simon Wilkins in the house. Blue-Eyed Scream, hello. Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. I said Blue-Eyed Scream already. Attack Alpaca, I'm starting to repeat myself. Ms. Wild, Wolf Scallo 8, Miss Midnight, our young friend. James Colley's in the house. What up, James? How you doing, brother? Let's see. Who did I miss here? I skipped somebody, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Somnambul Nation, what's up? There you are. I knew you were here. And that might be it. Lord Stanhope. Hi, Lord Stanhope. You're here. Okay, so welcome, everybody. Isn't it weird to have me start the show on time? Holy crap. It's amazing. Anyway, thanks to the people sharing the show. Let's find out who done that so far, because I don't always like to have to use proper English. First, let's see. I already reposted most of these. Thank you, Blue-Eyed Scream, replying to the show, saying it's showtime with Beetlejuice. Don't say it 2 more times, though. Also, Somnambul Nation, starting before normal time. Shit. No, this is the normal time. This is the time I'm supposed to be starting. So thank you. Also, there's the posting of the show by Somnambul Nation. Thank you. And also, Renee Mayette posting the show with one of these. I wish I had the music, but I don't. Excuse me. I'm still coughing. I don't know if this is ever going to go away. Also, let's see, as I scroll up, the Daily Woo, Ric Flair. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Simon Wilkins dropping, last night I said, okay, let's say last night I went to a place called Pelmo Park to eat a slice of apple crumble and drink my tea while listening to this. Uh-oh. What were you listening to? I can't play it. Is it music? I don't know. I see you, James. I see. I see you got, this is your tea and some, what'd you call it? Crumble, apple crumble. Like, see, now it's interesting. Is there a difference between apple crumble and apple crisp? I'm curious because we make apple crisp, but I don't know about apple crumble. Hello, Gunfox61, the amazing administrator of our Discord server and contributor of 3 articles that we're going to get to right away here today. Is there a difference between apple crumble and apple crisp? Is it the same thing? And yes, James Colley, yes, breaking news, Jake Paul fucked around and found out. Yeah! Jake got his ass kicked. I didn't even think about talking about Jake Paul today, but finally, he couldn't pay a fighter enough to fake a fight with him, because that fight with Mike Tyson was bullshit. He got his he got rung. He got rung pretty hard. In fact, he looked scared during the fight, actually having someone actually fight him. And I don't think he's ever fought other than Tyson, who was, he paid to throw the fight. I think, excuse me, he fought a heavyweight that doesn't hold back. That heavyweight knocked him the fuck out. Yeah, he deserved it. Hello, JB. Hello, my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. Good to see you guys. All right. I heard he made $98 million off of it. Is that true? I have no idea. Because look, that everyone knew he was going to get rocked. And I think he was just trying to find a reason to retire from fighting. And let's hope. I don't want him to be dead, okay? I don't want him to be dead. But let's hope that is the fight that makes Jake Paul retire. Now, apparently, Didn't Andrew Tate fight this weekend too and got beat up? Maybe. Okay, hold up, lads. Didn't Andrew Tate get his ass handed to him too? Yes, he did. I haven't seen that one, but I've seen that he did. The only fight that I would want to see now, for what's his face, Jake Paul. The only fight I would like to see Jake Paul have is with Andrew Tate. Let's have a Jake Paul Andrew Tate fight. Although I think Andrew Tate would whoop his ass too, but who knows? Who knows? Good morning, JB, Jay Blizza, and I said my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony, right? Did I say that yet? Well, if I didn't, I meant to. All right. Anyway, thank you, Simon, for that. The difference. Oh, did anyone say if there's a difference between apple crisp and apple crumble? I don't know. You want to see Mart fight Martin Short? No. I would kill Martin Short. Sorry. Paul versus Tate or versus Worski. Yeah. One crumbles and one is crisp. Well, thank you, Avocados Diabli, for that bit of wisdom or lack thereof. Okay, thank you, Ms. Wildwood, for sharing the stream. I'm reposting you too, and also the people who retweeted the show, Ms. Wildwolf, Tyre Alexander, Somnamble Nation, and Mansquatch. Thank you, Mansquatch. Are you here? I don't see you yet, but if you're here, sound off like a Mickey Mouse Club Mouseketeer or whatever. Oh, we got a little, and then Simon also dropped some Christmas wisdom, or Christmas cheer. Speaking of which, Lady Boomer and I are taking Grandma Boomer to go see the Christmas lights over at the Viking practice facility. They do this thousands of lights thing, a really cool display, so we're going to check that out. So, but yeah, here's, oh no, the train fell over. What the hell happened there? Okay, so there you go. That's a nice little Christmas display. Thank you, Simon, for sharing that. Some little Christmas joy. There you go. And as opposed to Christmas joy read, which would be disgusting. All right. By the way, I'm in the cabin studio with the fire and the Christmas tree and shit today. And now Gunfox dropping Hamilton in the tip jar again. Holy shit, we're gonna be just doing Gunfox show today. I might have to skip everything except for the main topic today, because Gunfox is just loading me up. Thank you for dropping Hamilton in the tip jar. Greatly appreciated. The first one says China is asshole. Yes, and we'll get to that one. And then also the second one, he says China says what? Well, China is asshole. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff to get to today. And why isn't that one opening? Is that twice? Oh, there he goes. Oh, well, they might have a point. So anyway, we'll get to these articles. All right. I think I've said hi to everybody. And again, the question over in the Q&A is just, what is the one Christmas song you wish they'd stop fucking playing, or just chill with it, whatever. Marty, you can use them too. You can use them tomorrow. No, I'm going to get to them today. Let's just do it today. I want to honor the rule. If you drop a Hamilton in the tip jar, the article gets done. And the only reason we didn't do it on Friday because we had Friday Q&A and I didn't have time to do it. So no, we'll get there. But let's get into the show now. What is this? Oh, the holiday. Well, obviously it's Christmas week, and so today, Christmas week is trending. You need to breathe deep tea with mullion. I don't know what that is. How do you even say that? Good Lord. So anyway, it's Christmas week, so Christmas week is trending. So I have to be, even with something like Christmas week, you have to be careful scrolling on X, especially if you're live streaming, right? But this is nice. Wishing you all, wherever you are on planet Earth, a wonderful Christmas week. Now, that's a very, very kind message from somebody named Ramblings. What else? Oh, what the hell? What is that? That's got to be AI. Good morning. Flipping into Christmas week with Olympic level energy. May we all tackle this Monday with strength, vigor, and a grateful heart. Here's to a blessed week full of promise and landing on our feet. Happy Monday to you, friends. Wow, that's a really cool message. Hello, Zent Z29. How about you never use Twitter? You don't have to be careful about Twitter if you don't use it. That's a very good point. Who are you? Welcome to the show. Are you new here, or is that just a name that I don't know the @ versus your name? But welcome. I'm glad you're here. All right. So, and there's more Christmas week, but you can check those messages. Also, it's National Cookie Exchange Day. Oh yeah. If you bake them dozens and dozens of cookies, it's time to go trade them or give them or something or whatnot. And also, so yesterday at this holiday party, my son-in-law's father and grandmother, apparently they have 7 or 8 family members that do all this cookie baking. They baked, cookies and Christmas treats. They made 39 types of treats, a gross each. I mean, it's like, here, let me do the calculation here. 39 times 140, or not gross. Is it gross 144? I think so. Isn't that right? Where's my calculator? They did 144 of each of 39 kinds. 144 times 39 equals 5,616 freaking cookies and treats, all different, all decorated different. I guess they did it at I don't know where they did it, but how do you make 5,600 freaking cookies? Holy shit. Anyway. All right. Wait, what's that? Yes, gross 144. 12 times 12 is gross. Yeah. 39 different kinds. I can't even fathom making that many. I mean, I saw it was, they must have did it in a church or something, because they had tables and they were everywhere. I'm like, that's crazy. According to Google, crisps are essentially crumbles with the addition of oats and optional nuts, which causes the topping to crisp in the oven. Due to the higher ratio of oats to flour, crisp are something. So, okay, that's the difference between, crisp and well, no. So, but what about crumble though? Crisp. Oh, it's basically crumbles with oats. Oh, I see. So, apple crisp versus apple crumble. Got it. Yeah, I know what you said, avocado salad. One's crisp and one crumbles. Whatever. Let's see what else is on here. Oh, breaking news for the British fans: biscuits are not cookies. Well, it's funny because I was just watching a video of British school kids try biscuits and gravy for this first time. And the kids were really confused because they were expecting, well, why would you put gravy on biscuits thinking cookies? And we're like, no, these are like Southern biscuits, them buttery things that whatever. Surprisingly, they really liked it, even though they thought it looked like dog crap, or dog vomit. But they said they liked them. I love me some good biscuits and gravies. All right. Biscuits aren't cookies? Oh my God, I've been lied to. Are you a Brit, Zent? Zents? Anyway. All right, so there you go. National Cookie Exchange Day. So lots of pictures of people with their cookies, although they got the AI cat giving a cookie to a bear, which I don't understand why that was there. Did someone say cookies? There's Cookie Monster and so on and so forth. See, so there's a bunch of cookies, and that's, I'll tell you what. The picture he showed me of all these Christmas cookies and treats they made, I was in awe. I was complete in awe. Yeah, I'm a British guy. You can tell by my shirt. Well, I can't see the shirt. I can barely see it. Your Abby's like this big on my screen here, so I can't see it. But I appreciate being here. All right, let's move on. Other holidays, it's National Short Person Day, which I do not celebrate. I'm sorry. The only short people in my family are children. Young children, in fact. National Cookie Exchange, Mathematics Day, or, well, either math or maths for the Brits. And then National Date Nut Day, Date Nut Bread Day. Date Nut Bread Day. Okay. And then National Betty Day if your name's Betty. Congratulations. All right. So there you go. Those are the holidays. Let's move into some stuff that's happening in the news. One of the things trending on X this morning, apparently Bitcoin hit 90,000. Apparently they're expecting to hit 100,000 before Christmas, which when Bitcoin was $7, I probably should have bought some and held on to it. But, I wasn't, I was skeptical. And I'm still skeptical. What goes up must come down. Doom, doom, doom. Spinning wheel. Got to go round. Anyway. So there you go. If you're into Bitcoin, you got some, you are happy that it went up again today. Congratulations. Let's get into Gunfox's article that he gave me because I promised I would, and I'm going to. First one here. This is from Friday, and it said U.S. News NASCAR driver killed. This is sad. NASCAR mourns the loss of Greg Biffle and his family in a plane crash in North Carolina. Greg Biffle was picked by NASCAR as one of its top 75 drivers in history. That's one I haven't heard of, but I haven't followed NASCAR for a long time either. He was a Hall of Fame nominee for the Stock Car Series as he drove for 18 years at the top of the sport. Yet for all races and the handful of memorable wins, he's perhaps best remembered for his selfless and tireless work helping others as a helicopter pilot. I do know who this is. I remember this guy now. He flew helicopters during Hurricane Helene. Helene, however you want to say it. Supplying aid to families who were left behind. Biffle loved flying, and he was in the air again Thursday aboard a small jet that crashed at the Statesville Airport north of Charlotte. Authorities said he was believed to be among 7 people killed, including his wife and 2 children. He was 55 years old. So very sad case. And I know, Gunfox, you had met him, haven't you? I'm pretty sure that you told me that you had met him or knew of him back in the day. So that's sad. That's tragedy for him and his family and people, fans or whatever. So, if I had a 40, I would tip a 40 for him right now. Also the news that Gunfox gave me, spread of famine in the Gaza Strip averted, but Palestinians there still face starvation, according to experts. Now, I'm going to read the article and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this, because if there is famine in Gaza, I'm trying to figure out where, and I'm trying to figure out why. And part of the reason why is because the aid's that's been given is not being distributed for certain reasons. But anyway, Dateline, Tel Aviv, Israel. The spread of famine has been averted in the Gaza Strip, but the situation remains. And by the way, all the pictures you see from there that's of the famine usually has one sickly kid that may not be sickly because of famine, and then they're surrounded by grandma and a dad and some other kids that have no famine signs whatsoever. So I've always been trying to figure it out. But anyway, the spread of famine has averted the Gaza Strip, but the situation remains critical, with the entire Palestinian territory still facing starvation. The world leading authority on food crises said Friday. The news report by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC. What? Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, IPC. They missed some letters in that acronym. Comes months after the group said famine was occurring in Gaza City and likely to spread across the territory without a ceasefire and an end to humanitarian aid restrictions. There was notable improvements in food security and nutrition following October ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, and famine has been detected, the report said. Still, the IPC warned that the situation remains highly fragile, and the entire Gaza Strip is in danger of starvation, with nearly 2,000 people facing catastrophic levels of hunger through April. Now, the other part of that too, when they, I don't remember when it was, but during this war, there was a point where they said, like X number of people would die within 48 hours of starvation. And then they showed the kid who had that spinal condition that caused his growth to be deformed, and he was surrounded by a family that none of them even looked like they missed a meal. And so I always get, I don't want to be skeptical, because if there are people starving, yeah, maybe the food aid needs to go in or be distributed and not stolen by Hamas, but maybe Hamas isn't stealing it anymore. But, anyway, the worst case scenario included renewed conflict and the halt of aid. The whole Gaza Strip versus famine need remains immense, and sustained, expanded, and unhindered aid is required, the IPC said. The Israeli military agency in charge of coordinating aid to Gaza, known as Kogat, said Friday that it strongly rejected the findings. And yeah, interesting, because the evidence has been always sketchy, but the agency adheres to the ceasefire and allows the agreed amount of aid to reach the Strip, Kogat said, noting the aid quantities significantly exceed the nutritional requirements of the population in Gaza, according to accepted international methodologies, including the United Nations. Israeli Foreign Ministry said Friday that it also rejects the findings, saying the IPC's report does not reflect reality in Gaza, and more than the required amount of aid was reaching the territory. The ministry said that the IPC ignores the vast volume of aid entering Gaza because the group relies primarily on data related to UN trucks, which accounts for only 20% of all aid trucks. The IPC said the report totals include commercial and UN trucks, and its information is based on UN and Kogat data. Israeli government has rejected the IPC's past findings, with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling the previous report an outright lie. This is a pretty long article. Again, though, I wish I probably should find that there's an Instagram account I follow, specifically this woman who is in Gaza, right? And I wish I could remember her name. Here, let's try this. I'm going to try something here, because she's it's an Instagram account, like this Gaza influencer type person, and I had laughed when I saw the account, because she's the one who had her nails done, and then she went back to go where she had her nails done, and it had been destroyed in the rubble. I wish I could find it, though. Let me see if I can. If I can't find it, like within one quick search, I'm not gonna do it. Where is it? Here it is. Rosie in Gaza. Let's watch some videos by Rosie in Gaza. Okay, and she's been posting her account during this entire war. And I don't know if she's, I don't know what her, if she's Arab Muslim, if she's Christian in Gaza, because there are some Christians in Gaza, but it's mostly Arab Muslims. Let's check out Rosie's account here, because so this is starvation in Gaza. She's in Gaza.
Mini kids school, and I want to tell you guys, hi guys.
Now, I'm gonna pause the music, because I don't want to get a music strike for this. So they're getting school supplies for the kids. Is this propaganda? No, this is an Instagram account of a woman in Gaza. She Palestinian. There are 2 Christians in Gaza, and there used to be 1 till they got beheaded and became 2. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why doesn't she have her head covered? Because not all women in Gaza have their head covered. Let me find another post of hers. Like, here she is, and this is, yeah, she likes putting music in her videos. But obviously there's bombed out building and stuff. And she, by the way, she does get shit. She mentioned in one of her videos that she does get shit for not wearing her head cover in Gaza. That's another music one. And let's find one where she's actually just talking. See, these are all, She's got a lot of videos where she's just making doing music. Let's see what's the pictures in this here. Let's see.
Winnie's shopping spree for Winnie Zayn Malik and Bella Hadid, and then we found these cute pajamas, so we decided to buy them all out, all the ones that were left, and we're gonna go pass them out after our shopping spree. So come with us, we'll go pass them out. Ooh.
So when I watch these videos,
It's the last day in this apartment. So enjoying the view. And then we have a lot of packing to do. It's not really a lot. I don't have that many stuff. But
what's interesting too, as I go watch through her videos, I'll leave a link to this, by the way, to her account, is like they go to markets and she's always buying food and she's getting clothing, and there's all the relief aid, like clothing relief aid she goes and gets, and they're selling it in these little markets and stuff. And so it's fascinating that this woman's been in a war zone this whole time, but still posts on Instagram as an influencer. And there are some places in Gaza she can't go because she doesn't wear a headscarf. So it's completely fascinating to me. I don't know how it all is supposed to work, but it's very fascinating. So anytime I see a story about famine in Gaza, I go, well, is Rosie in a different part of Gaza? Because obviously she's in where all the bombed out buildings are. Anyway, moving on, we got another article from Gunfox here, BBC, from the BBC and not the good BBC, if you know what I mean. Definitely not that BBC. Anyway, boys to be sent on courses to tackle misogyny in school. Oh my gosh, thank God. That is so long overdue. It is so long overdue. What? Teachers will be given training to spot and tackle misogyny in the classroom, while high-risk pupils could be sent on behavioral courses, retraining camps, as a part of the government's long-awaited strategy to have violence against women and girls, which they call VOG in Great Britain, apparently, in the next decade. Well, here's the problem, and I'm just going to tell you right now. You've been importing cultures that don't give a fuck about this, about violence, women, and girls, and often encourage it. But I digress. The plans for schools in England, which focus on preventing the radicalization of young men, have been unveiled as part of a wider strategy, which has been delayed 3 times. Teachers will get specialist training around issues such as consent and the dangers of sharing intimate images. Now, again, they've been having a little problem with consent in Great Britain over the last few years, particularly in places like London and places, and was it Rotterdam? Is that, or no? What's the place where they had the gangs that sold the gangs of fruit that grows on vines? Teachers will get specialist training on issues such as, I said that one. Responding to the announcement, the Domestic Abuse Commissioner for England and Wales, Damme Nicole Jacobs, said the commitments did not go far enough. Do you ever see that movie, The Commitments? I really like that movie. They did the Irish band that sang R&B songs. Anyway, that's a tangent. She said that while the strategy recognized the scale of the challenge, the level of investment falls seriously short. Well, a big thing that you could do is you could stop the importation of highly more toxic cultures, and then when they do bad things, stop letting them out because they don't have the cultural sensitivity training that they need. Holy shit! This is parody, isn't it? The £20 million package will also see teachers get training around how to identify positive role models, how to challenge unhealthy myths about women and relationships. I want to make jokes during this whole thing, and I gotta restrain myself. It will include a new helpline for teenagers to get support for concerns about abuse and in their own relationships. Government hopes that. Well, wait a minute. But what about the teens that are being targeted by imported toxic masculinity? Anyway, let's see. The government hopes that by tackling early roots of misogyny, it will prevent young men from becoming violent abusers. Well, what if it's part of their heritage? This is crazy that this is even coming up. Under the new plan, schools will send high-risk students to get extra care and support, retraining, including behavioral courses to tackle their prejudice against women and girls. Conservative leader Kimi Badenoch criticized the move, accused the government of silly gimmicks. I feel you, brother. Hello, TC. I see you in this chat. She told the BBC that plans were only being rolled out because the government spent most of the summer watching adolescents. I've seen that. The Netflix drama that explored the impact of social media and influencers on teenage boys. She instead called for more police officers, saying we need to remove the people from our country who shouldn't be here. Oh, shit. Shit. Wait a minute. Is this her? Let's listen to her. Let's see what she says.
Do you think the government's focusing on the wrong people? Who should they be focusing on?
Well, I know for a fact that it is not 11-year-old boys that are creating the scourge in violence against women. This is happening because the government spent most of the summer watching adolescents instead of actually doing things to fix the country. It is quite clear that if we want safer streets for men and women, we need more police officers. That's why we have policies to hire more police officers. We need to remove people from our country who shouldn't be here, especially those who come from cultures where women are treated as third-class citizens.
Oh, Lord, she's going to get savaged.
Does the Conservative
but
Party
not
think
Mike
the main
savaged.
problem here is asylum seekers and immigrants?
No, I think the main problem is that we have a Labour government that hasn't got a clue what it's doing. They've run out of ideas, and so they're bringing silly gimmicks and wasting money on things that won't work.
Anyway, so Prime Minister Sir Ken Starmer, said he did not intend to diminish the focus on the men that are the perpetrators of this violence, but said the government must address the misogyny and inequality that were the root cause. Well, the root cause is important. Mostly, oh my God, he had part of that was showing a positive aspirational vision for boys and men. Yeah, so you want them to be like women. That's pretty much how it works. Anyway, safeguarding minister. There's a safeguarding minister. Oh my gosh, so we've got actual video from these. Let's see. Here's Starmer. I don't really want to, but we're going to.
The age at which individuals are in abusive relationships sometimes, or being abused or subjected to violence, is going down, not up, and therefore, yes, I want to.
But wait, whoa! But why is that? Why is that? Is it? See, oh my, never mind. I'm letting finish.
We actually are able to prosecute cases, but I absolutely want to get in.
But you
very early
deflect.
stage, protecting children who may be being exposed
when it
to
happens.
abuse, maybe in their own household, but also just that discussion about a healthy relationship, boys and girls, but particularly boys, teenage boys. I think it is vitally important
because, of course, boys are always the problem. Anyway. Safeguarding. Oh, Jess Phillips is. Wait a minute. Where are my Brits here? Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips. What? Described violence against women and girls as a national emergency, adding the government's aim was to be so ambitious that we change culture. Oh God. Yeah, that's Jess Phillips. AD. That just he made the. He took on Sargon's joke about Jess Phillips. Anyway, Liberal Democrat spokeswoman for Women and Equalities, Marie Goldman, welcomed training for teachers, but said unless it was accompanied by steps to properly moderate online content, She had no doubt it would fail. Oh, so now they're going to do online content. As part of a wider strategy, the Home Office also announced a ban on nudification tools, which use generative AI to turn images of real people into fake nude pictures and videos without their permission. How this will work has not been made clear. Yeah, because you look, the AI cat is out of the bag, and as opposed to how Bit was saying, it's out of the bag. But anyway, you know, I'm pretty sure that if you announced a ban on nudification tools, which use generative AI to turn images of real people into fake nude pictures, I'm pretty sure you can do that with any AI. I'm guessing. I don't know. I've never thought of even trying it until now. But hey, this is just, gets sillier and sillier. Schools to take part in the teacher training pilot will be chosen next year, while ministers will aim for all secondary schools to teach healthy relationship sessions by the end of this parliament. So, and there's lots more, but you get the gist. So thank you, Gunfox, for that one. That's number 2. Let's go to number 3. This is out of, this is 4. Did I do the third one? Oh, I did. Yeah, Foreign Famine, BBC, that was 3. This is the 4th one. From Interesting Engineering, the website. China docks 80,000-ton Fujian 60,000-ton Liaoning aircraft carriers in military zones. Uh-oh. They got their carriers out. How many carriers does China have now? They have 5 functioning ones or 4 functioning ones? I can't remember. Satellite imagery suggests China is moving beyond owning carriers to mastering how to operate them together. Oh, okay. Newly released satellite imagery seems to show the Fujian aircraft carrier docked at the Qingdao Naval Base in East China, along with Liaoning, the Liaoning, which is another one. According to reports, this likely suggested an upcoming joint training session between the two carriers in the near future. So yeah, it's pretty, and none are fully functional. Well, they have 3 of them. Okay, I know they're building like more, but some have also suggested this may indicate that China is likely gearing up to practice multi-carrier strike group operations. That is something only true blue water navies can currently perform. It's not believed that such a practice is an indication of imminent war, however. The Fujian, the 80,000-ton displacement, is China's newest and most advanced aircraft carrier. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. And its first fully domestically produced. The ship has electromagnetic catapults, new deck layouts, and new command and control system. The Liaoning, the 60,000-ton displacement carrier, on the other hand, is the country's oldest, with well over a decade of operational experience. Oh, a decade. Amazing. If claims of upcoming joint training are true, then this ship and her crew will act as an experienced instructor for the Fujian. Satellite imagery shows them moored side by side, which is unusual and intentional. At the same time, you know, wow, we could take out 2 carriers with 1 strike. Anyway, did I say that out loud? I probably shouldn't say shit like that. Who knows who's monitoring the internet for shit like that? At the same time, South China Morning Post reports China has declared restricted military zones in nearby seas. According to reports, it has also been announced that China is planning military activity in the Bohai Strait and northern Yellow Sea for 1 week from 4 p.m. on Sunday. That's very specific. The Fujian has also been tracked moving unusually far north instead of staying near its home base. Unsurprisingly, Taiwan and Japan both have increased monitoring activity in the region in response. All of this strongly points to upcoming joint naval exercises. According to the experts, the fact that these 2 carriers are moored in the same base likely signals attempted integration between the 2 ships. This would likely see cross-training crews from both ships and comparison of flight deck operations. They would likely also see sharing lessons on sortie rates, deck safety, logistics, and battle rhythm, and practicing dual carrier command coordination. So, and then the next thing is there's no sign of imminent war, but they're learning how to do it. So there you go. I didn't have that on the screen, did I? I'm embarrassed. So this is the article out of this place right here. So there you go. And is that the Fujian? So that's the bigger of the 2 carriers. All right. And then finally, our last one from Gunfox. By the way,
China is asshole.
there you go. And now China is excoriating the United States, saying that the U.S. seizure of ships is a serious violation of international law. It's interesting that we're doing this. Could it be? It very could well be, but I know it's kind of pot kettle when it comes to China, right? Hello, Maniac Man. I knew you'd show up eventually. This is from December 22nd, which is that today? Yeah, today's 22nd. Yesterday was the longest day or shortest day of the year. Now the days are going to get longer in the Northern Hemisphere. China's foreign ministry on Monday said the United States seizure of another country's ship was a serious violation of international law after the U.S. intercepted a China-bound oil tanker off the Venezuelan coast. Is Venezuelan oil sanctioned? And the fact that they're taking oil that was bound for China. Anyway, Venezuela has the right to develop relations with other countries. China's foreign ministry spokesman Lin Jian said at a daily press briefing, adding that China opposes all unilateral and illegal sanctions. On Saturday, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted a second oil tanker in international waters off the Venezuelan coast, days after President Donald Trump announced a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. The tanker Century is loaded in Venezuela under the false name Crag, was carrying up some 1.8 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil bound for China, documents showed. The crude was bought by Satu Tijana Oil Trading, one of the many intermediaries involved in Venezuela's state oil company PDVSA's sales to China independent refiners, the document showed. The White House spokesman said that the falsely flagged vessel carried sanctioned oil and was part of Venezuela's shadow fleet. So, I guess there are sanctions on Venezuela. I don't know if who imposes sanctions or whatnot. Apparently we do. And so they said, fuck it. You ain't sending this shit nowhere. And fuck you. Deal with it. I'm paraphrasing, okay? Venezuelan government called the tanker interception a serious act of international piracy. China is the biggest buyer of Venezuelan crude, which accounts for roughly 4% of its imports. Only 4%? Wait, so they'll get by. It's only 4%. And reminder,
China is asshole.
So there you go. Thank you, Gunfox, for that wasn't the right one, but thank you for sharing multiple articles and dropping Hamiltons like I was gonna say like P Diddy, but I don't want to like a rapper, flipping dollars and shit. Greatly appreciated. All right, let's move on. My God, oh my gosh, I feel like I have so much time left. It's amazing. Let's get to the main topic, and then we'll touch other news items later. Apparently, TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's jam, well, former jam, because there's no more Charlie Kirk, but now his wife's jam, AmFest. They have their America Fest every year, and this morning as I'm getting it, I didn't pay attention to it over the weekend. I was doing Christmas stuff with the family, and apparently, Nicki Minaj has become a darling of the conservative side of the spectrum of political thought, because and mostly because of her, mostly because she's very outspoken about the massacre of Christians in Nigeria right now. Okay, and so that's been her big thing, and I admire that. But it suddenly seems like, most of us on this side of the planet, because most of the celebrities are always on the left, and but we have our own celebrity worship issue that look, if she's very, very well versed on the topic, which I haven't even looked to see if she is. I know she talks about it quite a bit, but I don't know how well versed she is on it. I respect that she has that, that cause, but I'm not enjoying. I care less about the fact of her celebrity. You know what I mean? And also, there's, certainly Nicki Minaj being a spokesperson for anything conservative raises a lot of eyebrows, and it should at least, but it's kind of cool when a celebrity who's popular or whatever does shit. So anyway, so here's the article from the Daily Wire. Erica Kirk brings the house down, interviews rapper Nicki Minaj on stage at AmFest. And I was like, is this real? And yes, it is. And I guess Nicki Minaj has also been to the White House and talked in front of President Trump and about this very issue, because Trump cares about this issue too. You worry about the genocide in Gaza, but there's a lot more Christians being killed and kidnapped and whatever in Nigeria. You got the 400,000. I don't know if you call them Palestinians. What the fuck is this? Why does this keep doing that? This article didn't completely fill in. In Yemen, there's so much stuff going on. There's so many genocides where hundreds of thousands of people are dying, but then we worry about the 39,000 people that died in Gaza. Okay, this is really pissing me off. I wonder if I can just refresh this. Hang on. Let me see if I can refresh it. If that'll work. And whatever. So anyway, Turning Point USA President Erica Kirk brought the house down Sunday when she introduced rapper Nicki Minaj on stage at America Fest in Phoenix, Arizona. Erica Kirk sat down with Minaj on stage, saying she wanted to honor Charlie's tradition of always having a surprise for the AmFest crowd. She started off with Minaj reading out loud some of her mean tweets directed at Governor Gavin Newsom to thunderous applause. Now this, okay, here's the rousing, okay, I stop using music. Of course, it's AmFest, so they're going to do that. But she gave me permission to use it. So here they are walking out. The whole crowd's like, yay, yippee, yippee, ki-yay, MFer, and all that shit. Let's see. Let me see when the music stops. Nope, it's still playing. But I'm like, okay, really? And look, I'm not knocking Nicki Minaj for having a cause. It's great. But I also think about conservative and Nicki Minaj doing this with her buttock in that Anaconda video. And I'm like, oh, these don't mix that well. But I respect the cause. Why did this, that was the end of it? Okay, hang on. So anyway, here's the part where where's the part where they did here's the one about her getting backlash though. And this is the other part that you expect her to get backlash for even associating herself at all with Donald Trump.
I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Amen. I feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled, but really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys.
Okay, I want to hear what you said about Gavin Newsom, because that shit's got to be funny. So let's find here Nicki Minaj. Here, let me see. Nicki Minaj reading some Newsom tweets aloud. Was the Christmas present I didn't know. Now let's see what she says about Gavin Newsom. This may actually be entertaining.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Okay, that's funny.
Okay,
that's
okay.
funny.
One more.
Why not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav nots. Gav not in, Gav out. Send in the next guy, I'm bored.
Okay. She's Harris vibes. How'd she give you Harris vibes? Who gives you Harris vibes? She's probably conservative by Hollywood standard. Well, yeah, I mean, and as she's been, been more involved in like conservative stuff lately, especially, well, again, her big cause right now is the Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. And in fact, here's a clip. Here's another clip of her doing that.
Receive that, bullies. We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world. Amen.
Amen.
So apparently she's a Christian.
I don't know if you can see this at home, but she is getting a ton of standing ovations.
I love you guys so much. Thank you guys.
And AmFest is TPUSA is, they're basically college and high school students or have chapters across the country where they, they try to, well, Charlie's just trying to get them to think in a different way. And so they have chapters in colleges. And so these are young people giving Nicki Minaj a standing ovation for standing up for Christians across the world. I guess that's what the word is. But I like some of the reactions as I read through here. This person is breaking. Nicki Minaj speaks out about Islamists pursuing Christians around the world. Nicki has more moral clarity on this subject than Tucker Carlson, which, oh, snap. But here's someone named Callie. How to Torch Your Career in One Day, a novel by Nicki Minaj. Well, because we're, as conservatives, are so excited to have any celebrity on our side, because most of them are on the other side, they'll have a field day with her. By the way, when was it? It was about 2 or 3 months ago. She has some song out that that's that song by Four Non Blondes, What's Up. She uses that as the hook in one of her rap songs, and the White House used it in a video, and all these people on the left were like, you can't do that, you have to get copyright violation, whatever. And Nicki Minaj herself replied to it, oh, this is so cool that you use my song. And that's where everyone went, what? Who's Nicki Minaj of all people? And then Trump invited her to the White House. So anyway, that's how that started. And that's why suddenly now she's at TPUSA events. But here's, for example, this is from, I don't think this is from the TPUSA thing, but this is where she's speaking out.
In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action. And I want to be clear.
Right, Annalyn?
Protecting Christians in Nigeria is not about taking sides or dividing people. It is about uniting humanity. In Nigeria,
and someone said she's too coherent to give Cammy vibes. Yeah, she's actually, she doesn't do word salad, and she's fairly articulate on the topic. And also, what did she say?
For young men.
And for young men, don't be new scum. Yes. See,
she doesn't like Gavin Newsom, I guess.
You have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
Okay,
And you have
she's all in on
amazing role
Trump.
models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president. And when I say that,
She didn't mean to say that. Sure, that's probably not the best choice of words.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
She felt a little bad about using that term. Anyway, so there. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. Nicki Minaj, the new celebrity voice of the conservative movement. Now, I'm not going to do a whole section on the AmFest. I'm only getting clips. I saw part of Ben Shapiro's speech just because I watched Monkey in the Morning. Some weirdo ripping into Ben Shapiro's speech. But I do want to, as I go down this AmFest topic here, let's start here. J.D. Vance honors Slain Kirk at America Fest, calls America a Christian nation. Attorney Put USA is America Fest. Well, here, let's hear J.D. Vance. This is only 8 seconds. This is funny. So again, of course, the left, and especially Aaron Rupart, because he's the worst quote miner probably on the internet when it comes to conservatives. He put an 8-second clip on here, an 8-second clip of something J.D. Vance said about not apologizing for being white noise. So here's how Aaron Rupart clipped this. Listen.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
Now, taking that in is the only thing that J.D. Vance said, I go, what was the context of that saying that? Because then someone else puts, you're not going to be able to pay for healthcare, groceries, and housing with white supremacist propaganda. Okay, wait a minute. Is that what he was talking about? By the way, Vice President J.D. Vance says Nick Fuentes can eat shit after Fuentes made comments about his wife being Indian. But let's look at a couple things J.D. Vance did. Here's one. J.D. Vance perfectly sums up how Christianity produces great men. Let's start here. And then there's another part he was talking about. Anyway, let me come back here.
Shall know them. And we might ask, what are the fruits of these people and their principles? And the answer is a man named Tyler Robinson who killed my friend.
Talking about what the left's
Think about it. He is
produces.
everything that the far left want from our young men. He rejected the conservatism and the spirituality, the values of a small town family. He moved into a small apartment. He became addicted to porn. He became addicted to hate. And he ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman. That is the nightmare scenario, but that is the scenario that the left has actively advertised they want for American families. And the young men in the audience in particular.
He's kind of right.
That is exactly why we have to fight them. Because the fruits of true Christianity are men like Charlie Kirk.
And I would say, for those who are not Christian, because I know a lot of people are not, just the truth of common sense. And if you want to say Mother Nature or evolution or whatever, it doesn't, I mean, obviously Christianity is a guide for a lot of people, but there's common sense could be your guide too when that comes to that. Reality can be your guide when it comes to that too. It sounds like they're yelling Jerry like it's Jerry Springer. What else do you say here?
The fruits of true Christianity are good husbands, patient fathers, builders of great things, and slayers of dragons. And yes, men who are willing to die for a principle if that's what God asks them to do. Because so many of us recognize that it is better to die a patriot than live a coward.
That's an interesting way to put it. So let's see. Is there another section here? Laughing my ass off. JD Vance absolutely roasted Jasmine Crockett. Says she wants to be a senator through her street girl persona is about as real as her nails. I don't need to hear him say it. That's funny. Oh, here's one. Nikki just on this stage being blatantly transphobic. Oh my God. And here's a clip. Here again, JD Vance says Nick Fuentes can eat shit after Fuentes attacked Vance's wife. Let me be clear. Anyone who attacks my wife, whether their name is Jen Psaki or Nick Fuentes, can eat shit. That's my official policy as Vice President of the United States. Oh my God. That's awesome. So anyway, there's other stuff about Amfest in the links here, but I'm going to go back to just some of the news items that I pulled out of here. The top one, a couple top trending topics on X today. You ever see on X or on Instagram or anywhere else on social media where these people come out and talk about tipping, like as in, now I know and not all cultures do tipping, but we do in the United States. And I, as a professional bartender, and you know, the kind of the standards around are between 10 and 20%, depending on what the situation is. I mean, if you're tipping an Uber driver something or other, it's 10% is cool of what, you know, your ride was or whatever. It's our culture. We do that because a lot of people make a lot more money in tips than they would in salary anyway, with our culture the way it is. But anyway, this person made this. Well, this is not even a real handmade message, which is hilarious. Her handmade message moved the decimal on $8.58, multiplied by 4, sparked widespread criticism, calling it extreme and a form of moral bullying. Defenders point to U.S. servers. No, there should be no defenders of telling people they should tip 40% of their bill. Here it is. Here's what she put. If you can't tip your server, don't go out to eat. Your bill, $85.80. Move the decimal over 1, then times it by 4. That's a 40% tip, you fucking moron. When I was bartending, I appreciated any tips I got. And anyone who tipped anything, I was thankful, because not everybody does it. But the kind of the rule of thumb in the United States, it's not 40%. She's an idiot. 15% is decent service. Okay, just good, solid service. Okay, everything happened right. People go above and beyond. You might tip 20%, or if they really went above and beyond, you might tip a little more. And if you get shitty service, even when I get shitty service, I'm still gonna tip 10 to 15%. But I don't. Here's the other thing: you tip in places where you get service, though. Someone drives. Let's say someone's delivering your food. I still do 15 to 20% when people deliver food, like if I do Uber Eats or delivery food. But I do not tip at a place where you go up to a counter and order yourself. They have a little jar in there, or they have the little. You know, do you want to tip? Like, I rarely tip at like coffee places. Occasionally I will, but if you have to go up and get the shit yourself, then I'm not tipping. If you're not getting service or carry out. People will on carry out food, you'll order carry out food and you go in there and you swipe your card and they turn the thing around and it says 15, 20, 25%. I'm like, no tip. I don't tip for carry out. I did the work myself. So anyway, if I don't sit down, I don't tip, and I don't sit down. Well, I tip delivery drivers because they, they're using their vehicles. A lot of times they're not getting reimbursed at the rate that they're actually spending on cars, and it's just part of the deal. But anyway, but this moron with this 40 times 4, she's tipping 34, 32 on an $85 bill. She's a moron. I think she's just, I'm pretty sure that that's just rage bait. So lots of people arguing this. Tipping culture in America has quietly crossed the line. Yes, tip your server based on service. That's basic decency. But telling people they shouldn't go out and eat unless they can afford a 40% tip is moral bullying. An $85 meal turning into $120 creates a system of offloading wages onto social pressure while pretending it's virtue. No, you just caught a look. Let's just reply to this. Let's do quote tweet. Do you allow rage bait to control your life? Because that is strictly rage bait as far as I'm concerned. That's a rage bait post. There you go. All right, let's move on. Other things trending this morning, as I noticed when I opened up X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Do people really get bullied by meat? I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. Anyway, other thing, Trump plans summit with insurers to slash health insurance premiums. Now, this is fascinating because all the Democrats are bitching about this, the Affordable Care Act that was supposed to have premiums about the equivalent of your cable bill. Trump plans summit with insurers to slash health and premiums. Trump announced he will convene top health insurance executives soon to pressure them into lowering rates as enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies expire after 2025 and could double premiums by over $1,000 a year for millions. He pointed to his recent drug price negotiation as a model amid frustration over soaring costs that polls show as Americans' top health concern. A recent survey found that 65% bipartisan support for Medicare for all, while Republicans push transparency and Democrats warn of coverage chaos without subsidy extensions. Well, look, Democrats, you alone are responsible for the Affordable Care Act. The Unaffordable Care Act, and I got Nina Turner. She's a left wing from Ohio. 78% of Democrat voters support Medicare for all. 49% of Republican supporters support Medicare for all. Look, the people who support Medicare for all have never been on Medicare and don't know how it works. It's not the be-all, end-all that you seem to think it is. That's why everyone has to buy Medicare supplemental coverage. Medicare for all doesn't mean everything's free. It just means that people pay more out of everything they do to pay for people who do stupid shit. So health insurance companies have been ripping off Americans for many years. Obamacare, we set up to be very profitable for the healthcare companies so that they would go along with it and help to get it through Congress. President Trump is now being forced to deal with the disaster that is Obamacare. Oh, yep. He is meeting with the CEOs of the health insurance industry with the goal of saving Americans money by lowering health insurance prices. It remains to be seen what happens, but clearly change needs to happen. Americans are sick and tired of paying more and receiving worse coverage. And what happened with Obamacare is everybody's health insurance went up because they required you to cover shit that may not even affect you. You can't pick and choose what they're going to cover for you. So, if men have to cover pregnancy for themselves, there's stupid things. But anyway, now let's see here. Let's see, what's this? Health insurance giant quietly bankrolls Gavin Newsom partisan power grab. Blue Shield of California cut a check to California's redistricting fight. Days later, it asked Congress for billions because the Democrats want the subsidies again. And all the subsidies do, they don't lower premiums. In fact, subsidies makes it easier for health insurance companies to charge more. It's hilarious. So somebody hears President Trump is sitting down with health insurance companies as an effort to make insurance more affordable. Great. Who's this? Just Jen. Oh. Want to know why Dems are pushing so hard for Obamacare? Well, let's see what she has to say about that. I don't know who Just Jen is, but she's a fine-looking individual, and we're going to listen to her because this is strictly... I haven't given Avocados Diablo a reason to hit the like button yet, so here we go.
Let's be clear about why health insurance in America is such a disaster. Because Democrat politicians take massive money from big health insurance and protect the scam nonstop. Obamacare was not about health care. It was a payoff. Premiums exploded, deductibles skyrocketed, and Americans got more poor while insurance executives got rich. And don't let anyone gaslight you. The system is not broken. It's actually working exactly how they intended it to, and that is to rob us. Meanwhile, these companies pull in billions while Americans skip doctor's visits because they can't afford to. Insurance they already
The
paid
copays
for
are
that doesn't
ridiculous
work.
on
That's not
Obamacare.
incompetence, it's a complete racket, and we already know how much money these people take from big pharma. Now, Trump is doing one thing Washington hates. He's dragging big insurance into the light and telling them to lower prices or the scam.
And also, it's also the same thing for medical providers. The lack of transparency of what it costs to do anything. And I told you about that lady who called these 9 different MRI companies, and the range for paying cash for an MRI, if you paid up front, the range was like between $180 to $1,300 for an MRI. Which, by the way, if you live in Canada and you're not sure what an MRI is because there's only 9 MRI machines in the entire country, an MRI is where they do this magnetic imaging of your insides, where in the United States, you can get an MRI done within the same week versus sometimes it takes 6 months to get an MRI done in Canada. But hey, your universal healthcare in Canada is great, though, other than that, and the fucking assisted suicide shit. But anyway, I don't mean to knock Canadian healthcare, but if you're getting, if you're trying to get a procedure that's intricate or major life-saving type procedures, sometimes they'll just suggest you kill yourself. But a lot of Canadians do come here for catastrophic care because they can't get it in Canada. But for health maintenance, I think Canadian healthcare is awesome if you can get into a doctor. It's good for small things, but you go on a waiting list for serious stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's great for regular checkups and stuff. But if you need something major done, you might be fucked. You might die before you get into there. So anyway.
He's threatening them. Health insurance is the biggest driver of healthcare costs in this country. Not doctors, not nurses. The middlemen, parasites. Americans are done being robbed. This is Trump going scorched earth on big insurance. America first, and it's long overdue.
So there you go. And I'm not familiar with Jen RX, but again, that was strictly for the viewing pleasure of Avocado Stabley because she's a fine individual. Someone here says the Democrats passed Obamacare, walked with a big ceremonial gavel like it was a landmark legislation that would change the world for all Americans. Now they're trying to rename it Trump Care because it failed so massively they think you're stupid enough not to remember. So there you go. Oh, because that's what Sarah McBride said that. Mr. McBride, Delawareans already feel the effects of Trump Care. Dave wrote to my office to share without an extension of the ACA tax credits his wife, who suffers multiple ailments, and he will see their premiums jump to $1,200 a month and will lose their coverage. Why? That's how it was written by Democrats. How can you blame anybody but Democrats for the Affordable Care Act and how much it cost? By the way, is it just me, or does it not even make sense that because look, group coverage is based on how many people are in the group, right? So when I worked for a company that had 15 people, my health insurance was like $1,000 a month. This was 20 years ago. When was that? How long ago was that? That's about 20 years ago. When we had 50 people, because the group is so small, it was like $1,000 a month. That's why it started working for UPS again. But when I was at a giant mortgage company, my coverage was like $350 a month. which was, that was affordable at the time. But because the group was larger. So why is it that the ACA doesn't treat the group as a giant group, and you should be able to get health insurance for cheaper, right? But the way they set it up, it's more expensive than what your company would pay for group coverage. Makes no sense whatsoever. The more people in the group, the less health insurance should cost for all of them. But it doesn't work that with the ACA. There's this crazy expensive, crazy deductibles, crazy out-of-pocket totals compared to even my health insurance. Well, the health insurance I get at UPS that we pay through the union, mine's phenomenal. I $10 copays, and when I had my hips replaced, I think the only thing that I actually had to pay a copay on, a decent sized copay, was my MRI, which was like a couple $100. But overall, that was it. A hip replaced for $200. The ACA is terrible, and Democrats won't own it. They'd rather have continued subsidies for it, which makes the premiums continue to rise because you subsidize something, the companies will take that into effect, just like higher education. So F the ACA. Next, California prepare. Oh, my! If you happen to live in Northern California, you need to prepare for some storms. Governor Gavin Newsom announced Sunday that emergency teams and gear are pre-positioned in 9 northern counties to combat potential flooding and debris flows from incoming storms. Northern areas have faced moderate excessive rainfall risks today, while southern counties like Los Angeles brace for up to 7.5 inches of rain, nearly a year's worth, plus burn scar threats and inch-per-hour downpours from Tuesday through Wednesday. Possible bomb cyclone by Christmas Eve could bring 60-plus mile-an-hour winds, heavy snow in the Sierra Nevada, and atmospheric rivers dumping 3 to 7 inches statewide, prompting flood watches over 30 million people, and calls for early precautions like securing outdoor items and checking hazard zones. So if you're in California, stay on the second floor, and I would just not even go outside. Just stay home all week. Fuck it. Christmas, nobody cares. Stay home. And if you're in a low-lying area, go visit grandma who lives in the high-rise. There you go. All right. Did you hear about the flooding in 3 states, including Washington? No, I have not, Ms. Wild Wolf. But yeah, no, I know that there's shit going on, like San Francisco. Where's that story about San Francisco? Hang on. Here it is. San Francisco had a major power outage. It leaves 130,000 homes and businesses in the dark. Oh my gosh. I wonder if we'll get a big thing like they did when Texas lost power in some places during that freeze. Like, are they going to make this national news too? Massive San Francisco power outage on Saturday darkened 130,000 homes and businesses in San Francisco, according to the city's main utility firm, Pacific Gas and Electric. Self-driving cars stalled in the streets, except for Teslas. The Waymos. Oh, by the way, when my wife was in Austin, they ordered, like an Uber, and they got a Waymo, one of those self-driving cars. I'm not sure I'm ready for that shit. Because this will tell you why in this article. So self-driving cars stalled in the streets and blocked access points across the metropolis as part of the stoppage because the Waymo couldn't, for whatever the power outage, screwed the Waymos. Which in the reason that Tesla's ones, because they have some Tesla self-driving like Uber type cars, right? They kept going because they're on the Starlink. So anyway, the power failure left a large swath of northern part of the city dark, beginning with the Richmond and Presidio neighborhoods and areas around Golden Gate Park in the early afternoon before growing in scope and size. The widespread blackout caused a fire at a PG&E substation, this was caused by a fire near 8th and Mission Streets, left roughly 30% of the city without electricity. The outage, which began in the morning and continued into the evening, hit areas including Richmond, Sunset, Haight-Ashbury, Pacific Heights, and the Presidio, cutting power to stoplights and public transportation systems. Social media posts and local media confirmed mass closures of restaurants and shops and darkened street lights and Christmas decoration. So that sucked for them. That has nothing to do with a storm. That has just because of a fire. Let's see, what else do I have here? Let's see, we did. Oh, so anyway, yeah, if you're in California, follow all the emergency warnings. Pay attention to what's going on. If you live anywhere from Los Angeles north all the way up the coast, it's going to be some shitty weather over the next 3 days. And in the immortal wisdom and famous words of who's the guy who played James Bond, the first James Bond? What's his name again? Why am I blanking on his name? Not Roger Moore, the first guy that was he was actually in the movie The Presidio too. James, what's his name? Sean Connery. Thank you, Sean Connery. In the immortal and infinite wisdom and words of Sean Connery, Northern California. Be careful and don't get fucked in the ass by the storms. I think that's exactly that's an exact quote, isn't it? All right. I got a bunch of other articles here. Sean Connery's my husband's favorite actor. Oh, there you go. He's a great actor. Other articles. Leftist Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese booed at a Bondi terror attack vigil. Left-wing Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was greeted with boos and abuse at Bondi Beach on Sunday when he attended a memorial vigil to remember those murdered in the terrorist attack that struck a Hanukkah celebration 1 week ago. Let's just show you the video.
Prime Minister, you said there was more you could have done.
It's all in one. It's on your right.
To apologise to the Australian Jewish community.
I don't hear the boos yet. Oh, there they are. There they are. Good for him. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. Okay, so a contingent of the crowd did boo him. So there you go. That other also headlines. Why is my computer not working? Apparently, the George W. Bush Institute urges Americans to sympathize with Afghans after the D.C. National Guard attack. You know what? I don't know if this is kind of a rage bait headline from Breitbart. Because some Afghans, you should sympathize with some, right? But not all. Following the fatal shooting of one National Guard member and an injury of another in Washington, D.C., George W. Bush Institute is urging against broadly targeting Afghan immigration applicants in response to the action of a single individual. Well, no, but we can vet them a little better, right? Ramanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national who previously worked with the CIA, backed partner force in Kandahar and entered the U.S. in 2021 through the Biden administration Operation Allies Welcome, has been arraigned and is facing charges on the Thanksgiving ambush-style shooting of that left 20-year-old specialist Sarah Beckstrom dead and critically injured 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. Following the attack, U.S. immigration authorities announced an immediate and indefinite pause on immigration processing for Afghan nationals and launched a broad re-examination of immigration, asylum, and green card applications from 19 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Venezuela, Sudan, Haiti, Cuba, and Laos. In response, the George W. Bush Institute posted on X, quote, "The actions of a man charged with a heinous crime have derailed the lawful U.S. immigration applications of people from 18 countries so far, including Afghanistan. Afghans are facing uncertainty at home and in the U.S. Read why we can't turn our back on Afghans and other immigrants due to one man's crime." No, you can't, as long as they're being vetted. That's all these. I think that's all we're trying to do. Trying to be prudent. Got to be prudent. Got to be prudent, right? Well, we're trying to be prudent. So, yeah, don't blame all Afghans, but also make sure we're being prudent and vetting people. Also, Breitbart. Okay, we did that one already. Apparently the D.C. police chief resigned Now, I'm not 100% sure the backstory in her resigning, but in her resignation speech, let's just say she was not happy about resigning. And let's see. Earlier this week, House Oversight Committee released the interim staff reports on its investigation into the Metropolitan Police Department Chief Pamela A. Smith, which revealed she had pressured and at times directed commanders to manipulate crime data to maintain the appearance of low crime in the nation's capital. So she was telling everybody to cook the books, right? The committee opened its investigation in August after wide whistleblowers came forward to accuse the Metropolitan Police Department of, quote, deliberately misclassifying crimes to present a false narrative of a safer city, which they in fact did. The report titled Leadership Breakdown, How DC's Police Chiefs Undermined Crime Data Accuracy can be viewed here. I'll click that link and you can see that too. But now, according to a news release from the committee, House investigators reviewed the commanders of DC's 7 patrol districts who describe an environment under Chief Smith marked by fear, intimidation, threats, and retaliation. Conditions, they said, directly contributed to declining morale and the loss of experienced officers and commanders. Earlier this month, Smith announced her resignation from the force effective December 31st, 2025, despite evidence to the contrary. She portrayed the decision as voluntary in her statement. And here's part of her statement. I am deeply humbled and grateful and deeply appreciative of my time with the District of Columbia. Serving as chief of police has been the greatest honor of my career, and I want to extend my sincere thanks to Mayor Muriel Bowser for appointing me to this position and to the DC Council for their steadfast support throughout my tenure. Now, she did address colleagues during her walkout ceremony on Friday. Any trace of the gracious tone she struck in her retirement statement was gone as the ongoing leader lashed out and delivered a pointed message to her haters. Smith forcefully denied claims that she manipulated crime data and framed her defense in religious language, shouting, quote, never would I compromise my integrity. Never would I compromise 28 years in law enforcement for a few folks who couldn't stand to be held accountable. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. That's toward the end of her 13-minute speech. Smith calmly remarked, so I'm going to the Bible. Oh, where'd you just, she's going to be Christian now. I'm going to the Bible when I say to my haters, fuck you. Well, lady, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. That's straight from the Bible too. Biatch. Bye. All right. Anyway, that's enough. All right, guys, I wish I had all the time in the world, but I don't. It's time for me to go. And since I started on time, I'm finishing close to on time today. There's a ton of articles in the links because I didn't get to half the shit I wanted to talk about. And the aggregators there where a lot of those articles you can find, plus a lot of other good stuff. Plus I did leave old Rosie, what's her name? Rosie in Gaza, the Instagram Gaza influencer that was, you know, you got to watch some of the shit she does. It's hilarious. I'm like, everything's terrible in Gaza, but then you got Rosie in here telling you, well, I got my nails and hair done, but then the building got bombed. I'm like, are you serious, chick? What's up with you? Anyway, so let me just drop those links in the chat as soon as this thing starts. Oh, I got the Christmas songs. Let me do that real quick while I'm waiting for that. So I said my question today of Q&A was, what was one Christmas song that, what the hell? What's one Christmas, there we go. What's one Christmas song you wish they'd just stop playing? Because it's so freaking annoying. Well, let's see. Carousel just says anything commercial. Like what? The Coke wish, want to teach the world. Hello, Select Boy, by the way. Yeah, boy. Like the I want to teach the world to sing song, because that's kind of commercial, the old Coke commercial. Avocados Diablo, all of them. Oh, you hate Christmas songs. You hate Christmas? That is un-American, brother. Come on now. Tyre Alexander says, Baby, It Is Cold Outside, not the original, the woke remakes. It isn't about sexual assault. She wants to stay, but she doesn't want to be she also didn't want to be a whore. She is being pressured or drugged. Oh, that's the new version, right? Yeah, I don't like that new version, but I've never heard that version played. I still hear the Dean Martin version, kind of sexy, playful one. She wants, that bitch wants to stay. She wants to stay and get that thing. Anyway, Somnambule Nation says Feliz Navidad. Oh, come on now. Do you hate Mexican people? What's up with that? Wait, Feliz Not My Dad. Oh, Feliz Not My Dad. Oh my God. That's a Jose Feliciano classic. Lord Stanhope. Oh, there's a three-way tie. The Mariah Carey Abomination. Yes. Oh, Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time. I hate that song. That is the worst Christmas song ever. And they play the shit out of it. And then finally, George Michael Last Christmas, a.k.a. George not understanding why Andrew wasn't gay. I actually, that one, I kind of like it. I mean, I don't hate it. I can stand that one. But Mariah Carey, I'm just tired of hearing. And Paul McCartney, that is the worst. That's the worst. I used to hate Grandma got run over by a reindeer too, but I can stand that song now that I'm now that I'm older. Anyway, and then Avocados Diable says the only Christmas songs we should be playing anymore are the H.P. Lovecraft ones, like beginning to look a lot like Fisherman and Awake Ye Scary Great Old. Okay, I got you. Oh, Jingle Bombs by Jeff Dunham. I've never heard that one. We'll have to check that out. Okay, that's it for today. Here are the links in the chat. Links. There's all the introduction you get, and they'll be in the description too. Thanks everybody for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe not exactly the same time, but around this time, trying to get here at home on time and get the show started. That's it. Got to go. Thank you. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.